All right. Hello, hello, hello. So today we're going to be talking about brainstorming. And I borrowed these slides from an organization called the National Productivity and Competitive Council to think about some brainstorming techniques. So borrowing from others is a brainstorming technique. It really is. All right. So let's talk about brainstorming. This is an example of brainstorming. Just let the chaos out. And a lot of what we're going to be talking about in this is a lot of people have trouble with just letting go, just sitting down and writing. So it's this idea that everything has to be perfect, and it does not. We're going to be talking about revisions and doing multiple additions and doing it again and again. It means the first time you do it, it can be absolute trash. It's okay. It does not have to be perfect the first time. It doesn't have to be perfect the second time, the third. Just let it out. And that's what I really want you to focus on here in this brainstorming. Don't worry about what's coming out. Just let it out. You can always go back and crumple it up or scratch it out or whatever you want to do, but get it out first. And we'll talk a little bit about that, of why. So just a couple examples. This is, the round robin technique. Many of us just kind of want to write on our own. It is a good idea to involve others and ask them questions. And so in the round robin technique, you can just, even if it isn't their assignment, ask other people to participate and what are their ideas. The other one is freewheeling, where everyone just puts out ideas. There's no taking turns. It's just letting things go. And in this, and actually both of them, you kind of want some rules. Let's call them guidelines. Um, don't worry about editing what's going on. Don't criticize. Uh, you hear sometimes that you're going for quality, not quantity. In this instance, you're going for quantity. You want as many ideas as possible and go for the wild, crazy stuff. The reason the wild, crazy stuff is good is because even though it doesn't make sense, it might not even make sense to you or be connected, it might spark an idea in someone else. So if we're trying to just, what is the best flavor of ice cream we could make today? And someone says alligator. For whatever reason, you saying alligator might spark a recipe having nothing to do with alligator in someone else. And also, don't ignore the obvious. We oftentimes forget the obvious or forget to walk through the path of the obvious, which sounds weird because it's obvious. So go ahead and state the obvious. And sometimes it's also good to do it just to test the waters, to realize that people aren't going to be there to laugh at you. Or maybe someone does critique you and you can take the moment and say, hey, this isn't the time in our process to critique. These are also things you could say to yourself when working alone. Hey, I'm brainstorming. I'm just putting down ideas. This isn't where I critique myself. So there's also another technique that's called reverse brainstorming. So normally we have a problem. So how do we get to school? Now in reverse brainstorming, we do the opposite. How can I not get to school? How can I avoid all the school possible? And what we do is we reverse engineer. So now we see all the things that in order to get to school that we have to overcome in order to get to school. And it helps identify a problem. It I think allows for more creativity. Um, and it's just a different perspective. So, for example, you can ask, how do you prevent yourself from creating a product that is being successful? So, how do you prevent a new product from being successful? And you can think, okay, let's see, successful products, we want a good product, we want something that people want. So the opposite would be like, okay, let's create something people don't. And either you can continue down that line as you generate more ideas, and maybe creating something not successful will be successful, or you can reverse engineer it to find out how to arrive at creating a successful product. All right, here's your assignment. It is due July 18th, 2024. The usual rules apply, 10% off for every day late. But this one's really simple. So we're talking about our thesis or our topic statement, and you just watched a video on topic statement, so you have a general idea what to do here. Now, our overall paper, so we're just starting on the first sentence, so let's not worry. Think about because you were only supposed to read the first 3 chapters of Good Time to Be Born. How does the information in those first 3 chapters apply to or does not apply to your life? Okay, now we're only coming up with a topic or thesis statement, and we're only brainstorming at this point. So, kind of what you're going to turn in should be trashy or just not a perfect final statement. That'll come along. Hold up. Right now, you're just getting that initial idea out. It's only one. Now, what I do suggest with writing a thesis statement, and if you remember what we did in goal setting with the 7 whys, is to apply that same thought to your thesis statement. So it's actually going to be either several statements or one long, imperfectly, according to the rules of grammar, sentence. That's okay. We're just generating ideas now. And how that would go with the 7 why process is, something along the lines of basketball is the greatest sport. Okay? Because, or why? Because it's easy for people to learn. Okay? Why is that important? Because that allows people to get into the game without having to worry whether or not they are skilled. And you see that you just keep going down that 7 times. Get those, ask yourself, why is that important? Answer it because. So that's your assignment. Remember, imperfection is what we're looking for here. So I will talk to you soon.